Hello, good day.
Ya,
Apa kabar teman-teman?
How are you, friends?
Salam dulu. Rama mana tadi?
Where is Rama?
Rama udah ya?
Rama, hi bro.
Saya mohon maaf agak sedikit telat.
I'm sorry I came a bit
Berhubungan
late
dengan motor tidak boleh
because
masuk Tamrin.
motorcycles are not allowed to enter the Tamrin area. It's rather complicated that I have to walk from Kebon Sirih to here. That's why I'm all sweats. Sorry for that. I'm very happy. I'm delighted to be able to talk with you here. Maybe I'm not going to talk too long. It will perhaps take about 10 to 15 minutes because I think the Q&A would be more interesting. Firstly, I would like to greet the friends from the panelists. I regret that I do not listen to their presentations. I just want to know their inspirations. I am very familiar with Clue. I know Sister Alanda, and Clue for me is has a very great potential to change the accountability in Indonesia. And we will be working together with Clue so that people, when they complain on the Go-Jek or the motorcycle taxi services, they could do so through the Clue application. If you are working with Go-Jek, you have to be tough because Indonesians like to complain. But I think complaint is good because complaint shows emotional ties between the person and the product. So we open space for complaints, as much as possible space for complaint, because it is through that way that we could be better. I don't think that I need to introduce Go-Jek. If I may know how many of you have used Go-Jek. Okay. Sorry for being faithful in using the work of the child of this nation, even though our neighbor Malaysia is cheaper, but it seems that you are so loyal to the product of your own country, freedom. So the theme is innovation for innovation to economic growth. Well, I don't think that I need to explain about Go-Jek, but I would like to tell you the vision of Go-Jek. Well, because we think, and it turns out that, initially we thought we would be an online motorcycle taxi service company, but we were wrong. Well, perhaps all our on-demand services for shopping, for buying everything, for buying food. And you have used Go-Mart, but the application is already there, right? So please use Go-Mart quite often. It is exciting. So we thought we would be an on-demand delivery for shopping, but it proved to be wrong. It turns out that the Go-Jek concept is something that is bigger. So now the vision of Go-Jek is no longer a business. Indeed, it is still a business. We are still for-profit business. We very much believe in for-profit model, but Go-Jek is no longer a business alone. It's not just a business. Go-Jek has become a revolution. So we are thinking of ourselves as not as an employer, or employer or the owner of a Go-Jek, but as the spearhead of technological advance in Indonesia. And we expect that Indonesia is not chasing the United States, Europe, China, or India. Our aspiration is that we should leapfrog them because the potential for IT leapfrogging is very great, because Indonesia, I think in 4 years' time, all the people, including fishermen, would have smartphones. And the second thing is because we are very fond of social media. Just because of the social media, many people want to buy smartphones. That's why our technological or IT development in Indonesia could be great without any support from the government. The private sector could do it alone. it first. In the so in the past, people could mark up prices, but now with smartphones, everyone could access products and services directly to the providers, making the economy more efficient. In the future, Gojek may want to launch a product every month. So we have already launched Go-Mart, and soon we will be number one online full groceries or shopping services in Indonesia through Go-Mart. And later on, we will launch Go-Box. It is similar to Gojek, but it is for trucks and land vans. So, but we will also have there will also we are also providing pickup services so that all so that fleet owners could monetize their fleets, because in Indonesia things are quite strange. We at the same time we are lacking of feed, and we are also have an oversupply of feed. And before Gojek, we are like it is as if we have an oversupply of motorcycle taxi services, but when we need them, they are not there. That's an opportunity for market innovation, because with the equilibrium between demand and supply, prices would automatically go down. So this is a win-win situation, and so they could bring that their take-home base could be bigger, and consumers also win because the prices, the fares, the motorcycle taxi service fares are lower, and this is the opportunities that we will offer, the services that we offer. So maybe later on, GoPay is no longer a suitable name, and we would maybe change into Go app. And we also want to help not just those on wheels, but we also would like to assist other sectors. So later on, there will be services associated with cleaners, with massage, with cosmetics, and so there will be many different services, not just on wheels. But we can order not just motorcycle taxi services, but we can also order persons, so that there is no more middleman. Middlemen could no longer profit from the transactions, because people can also access services directly from the providers. That's why I have a lot of enemies. But that's okay, that's fine. If you have no enemies, that would mean that you are not doing something right. So I think that's okay. Mark, it is that point is one of our aspirations, and why we are interested in working together with Clue. That is intended to widen, to broaden our network of transport, and our expectation is to assist or to help to assist with various public transportation through technology, so that everyone in Jakarta and in other cities could use different types of transportation means. So those of you who think that Gojek want to compete with public transport, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. The motorcycle taxi services, or Ojek, could serve as the largest feeder networks, and this is no other way to reach to busway station or rain or train stations without Gojek. So Gojek or Ojek could serve as feeders. So who knows? We will help our friends from Organda. We can also assist our friends with Organda with our Indonesian transport organization. So we are not going to compete with them, but we want to embrace them. However, with the success of Gojek, in terms of users, many businesses feel that they are threatened. But that's okay, because in the end, Gojek will also help them. So we will no longer have our own fleet. We will help those with the fleets. That was That was one. And then friends, I have checked it. What is your backgrounds? Are you entrepreneurs or are you students? You are still students. Most of you are still students. Please raise your hands if you are still students or you still go to school.
Iya, masih kuliah.
Yeah, university students, please raise your hands. Those of you have already graduated, please raise your hands. Those of you have already have your own business, please raise your hands.
Pertama saya harus bilang sekolah dulu.
No, first of all, I need to talk one thing. One of my objective today is not to talk, but to recruit. I have to be transparent.
Tidak ada dampak yang lebih
There is no important impacts of me being here except for inviting you. So, in the bottom line, if you want to work for technology to better our country, please work for Go-Jek or for Clue. So first, we have to be quite explicit. For those of you who are thinking on how to become future leaders in technology, please email monica@gojek.com. That's she is our HR human resources manager. I'm not promoting. I'm not promoting. I'm cultivating next leaders or future leaders. Go-Jek has holds fast to several principles. So this is perhaps more interesting in terms of innovation on how Go-Jek could launch new products very quickly, and how it could grow so fast, and so on. And this is the reason. First, never underestimate luck or fortune. In every business, our most important friend is luck or fortune. Don't forget that, and never think that your success is attributable to your because you are great. People who think that they are successful because they are great, because they are smart or clever, that would not be good in the long term. So for those who are not religious, this is serendipity. Go-Jek has a lot of fortune and luck, but we are also quite smart in finding or in identifying luck or fortune, because we do something quickly and we monitor market reaction or responses, and we respond very quickly. Now I'm going to tell you the internal principles that we do internally to take advantage, or what is the Indonesian for take advantage of the luck or the fortune. Principle number one, and this is a principle that still confuses a lot of companies in the private sector. Principle number one is we turns the philosophy of an organization upside down. Conventional wisdom says that the bigger we are, more meetings, the more meeting we will have, the more meeting progress reviews will there be, the more layers we will have, and there will be more control mechanisms. Because the assumption is that the bigger the company is, the more difficult it is to control. Now, if the assumption, what is the assumption? If for example, the bigger we are, things would be chaotic and we will be getting out of control. The assumption is that human beings are fundamentally stupid, in that human beings are not able to regulate themselves. And in my opinion, this is the worst mindset in Indonesia's corporate culture. There are so many rules of the game. The working times, the working hours are very tight, and the regulations concerning the leaves are also very tight, and they are doing progress review, and they are not updating, and they are just collecting figures for report to their boss. We have no holidays, we have no leave. So, but they work on their own, but the target is aggressive, and everyone knows the performance because every year we release that from our system digitally and present that to our management. So we are 100% transparent. Everyone knows. So this means that we do not have to have a meeting every morning because every morning reports are there. Those of you who are ashamed would be ashamed. Those of you who are proud would be proud. So that this all depends on the management system, so that we have time to execute demands very quickly. Second, decision making. Decision making is not taken from above, from the top. No, not at all. Everyone may make decisions, even those at the junior levels, and no one would never be accused or would never be blamed for making the wrong decisions. One of the at Go-Jek there is a driver who get a credit 400,000 he get 400,000 thousand, and this is one of our mistakes. Within a year we have dispersed 4 billion. But in other companies, the team that make the mistakes would be fired, but not in our mistake. So if you have already made a mistake, that's okay. But don't make the same mistakes next time. No one would be blamed at Go-Jek when you make mistakes. But there is one thing that you will be blamed. If you don't make any decision, meaning that would mean that you have do not dare to take risks, and you would not survive. You would not make any progress. That's why there are 5 principles that we have, as far as I can remember. Number 1, be fearless. Number 1, that's the most important thing. From top to bottom, Go-Jek, whenever there are problems, if Go-Jek should never be afraid of competition, of regulations, of people getting accident, of people losing their belongings. 150 people would not be we would not have jobs from us. We have 150 people. So first, courage. That's key. Second, customer obsession. We steal this from Amazon. Customer obsessions. So with customer experience, whatever the customer is experiencing, we have to experience that also. So everyone could use Go-Jek, employees could use Go-Jek, so that all knows the ups and downs of the situation. Number 3, zero ego. Everyone may criticize everyone else. CEO may criticize subordinates may also criticize the CEO. And if we criticize something, please think of the bigger companies. Don't just think of your own targets. And because we are family. And number 4 is numbers driven or the agreement. One of the things that make me most that get me a lot of frustration is that because I used to work for many different companies, the state-owned companies. One issue that always make me frustrated is that every time a person wants to propose an idea or an issue, they never come up with data, with figures. Many people say that, well, we have to change this because this is poor, this is not good. But please specify how poor is this, how many customers should be affected. But I want to propose a solution. I think this is good. how many improvements we can have. So the last one, or the fifth or the last one is inspire others. Meaning that in our day-to-day activities, we have to inspire people in our surrounding with our energy, with our willingness to help others, with open eyes and with open hearts. And these are the 5 points that we use to review people at Go-Jek. Well, it's quite strange, isn't it? Actually, people should be reviewed based on KPM, on achievements, but we review them based on their characters, on their behavior. And frankly speaking, at Go-Jek until now, there no one in our team has not been subjected to the targets. And this is something that is quite strange for me, because if the targets could be achieved, usually the target is not achieved, is not high enough. At Go-Jek, no one being reviewed or being evaluated based on the achievement of the targets. We have no working hours. There is no regulation as to at what time you have to come in and how time and what time you have to go out. But when I was present at the office at 10 in the evening, my office is full. Because why? Because if we trust our team, if we trust people, and we believe that they are fundamentally good, they will be self-correcting and they will be always motivated. And so if this is the situation, there is no need for regulations. We have no regulations at all, and this is the concepts of the principles of innovation as to why we are able to hyper diversify with so many products. Almost every month we issue a new product so that we could reach this far. Now I would like to stop here, and perhaps I believe that there are a lot of questions on your minds about Go-Jek, so I will leave it to the floor.
Terima kasih Mas Nadiem. Tepuk
Thank
tangan
you.
dong.
Please applause.
Berikutnya sesi tanya jawab.
Next is Q&A. I will invite two questions.
Oke. Dulu.
So
ya.
you first and then him. Good afternoon. My name is Sita Supama. I'm from Volunteer ID. My question is actually specific in the business model context, because with taxi, the public transport in general, there's a modernization whereby the vehicles belong to the company, and even it belongs to him, there's a process to pay the credit, whereas Go-Jek is fully owned by the driver. So what does Go-Jek do in the future? Because motorcycle will be broken eventually. Is there a system whereby they can renew their vehicles? Oh, that is for sure. Thank you for the question. Very good question. Basically, when we recruit them, there is a compliance audit. How old is the motorcycle? Then after that, there is ongoing. We have safety training, how to handle your motorcycle. So we are not satisfied with them just having a license. We conduct additional safety training that involve the feasibility of the motorcycle. Secondly, we already have a deal with Honda for consumer financing, motorcycle financing. So now the drivers whose motorcycles are old because their income now are good, they can renew the motorcycle. They can, if above 6 years, they must replace their motorcycles. So there is rules, compliance on the feasibility. And thirdly, with our customer rating, many customers provide rating. For example, 1 star, because, for example, the motorcycle is not running smooth, or the brake is too harsh, or not so good. So our customer rating is to monitor the performance of our drivers. So the performance is the users. So that's why we have thousands of drivers
menggunakan effort dari
by
customer
using the effort of the customers to provide feedback to us. So in terms of the safety of the vehicles, of the motorcycles, there are various elements that we apply, that we have implemented. How do we ensure that they have sufficient fund at the end of 6 years, like you mentioned, when they have to replace the motorcycle? So there's a collaboration with Honda. But what is your company? What do you provide to the drivers? Is there savings or something? We do not treat our drivers like people who cannot think independently. They are their own responsibilities to comply. So after 6 years, I don't have money, sir. Then you have to leave Go-Jek. We are very disciplined on that because that concerns safety of the passengers. But if you ask us what we give is income, a lot of income, until they two times, 3 times their income, and they can pay installment, especially with a special rate from Honda without a down payment. So that is very easy for them. If we calculate on average the income of the Go-Jek drivers, they can buy a new motorcycle, and technically they can fully pay in 6 months, but we adhere to 2 years, 3 years, so that they can still, so that their financial burden won't be so high. The next question, please stand. Good afternoon. I'm Faiz from International Business School. I would like to ask at Go-Jek itself, and maybe on the field, we will compare with other commuters, especially for Go-Jek convention. There was an event, for example, in Bekasi. The Go-Jek driver was beaten up and so on. So from your management, what have you done to protect your drivers, and how do you communicate with the Go-Jek conventionals? This has become a focus of our company for the past 4 months. Our priority is to socialize, especially to bases who are still resistant, and to convert them to join Go-Jek. And some are beaten up, and the number of bases that became green, and they never tell the media the number of bases which use banners, anti-Go-Jek banners, to receive our attention, and so that they can enter Go-Jek sooner. That has also never been covered by the media. So that is an effective strategy. I salute that. That is very clever, because we prioritize recruitment there. So there are many locations which were previously resistant to Go-Jek. Now is not too many of them now. Several big bases are still there, but we have a task force. If there is any violence, there is zero tolerance. We will contact the police to deal with the situation and to enforce the law. Otherwise, if it's just a resistance, our team will come to socialize about the benefits of Go-Jek, because at the end, ultimately, it doesn't make sense why Go-Jek drivers don't want to join Go-Jek, because there is no cost and the benefits are unlimited. So it's strange. So it's just about mental mindset. If we explain, for sure they will join Go-Jek, because there is no losses on their side. Okay, please, third question. What's your name? I'm Yesi from President University.
aku sih secara pribadi mau
Personally, I would like to thank Go-Jek because you have helped to reduce unemployment in Jakarta. And also, listening to Idea Fest that Go-Jek will collaborate with Tokopedia and there will be Go Clean, Go Cook and so on. So indirectly, Go-Jek will have a large profit.
saya pribadi berpikir bahwa
And personally, I think, is that true? Oh, not yet. But personally, I think that
ini kan kita punya tema
we have a theme, 2030 now. Personally, I'm more concerned with handling of climate change. And previously, government and others said that embrace to walking and riding bicycles and public transport to reduce pollution. Whereas with Go-Jek, it's cheaper and faster, but the pollution will increase. So are you concerned for this, for climate? Because if this continues until everyone uses motorcycle, I think by 2030, ozone will be depleted. So that's my question. Yep, great question. First of all, before Go-Jek's name became Go-Jek, I tell you, actually the first name was Green Bike, because previously our vision was to bring electric motorcycle to Indonesia. Because for this, it's strange why we still use the combustion engine for motorcycle. It didn't make sense for me. In China, everything is electric bike, so that will reduce the emission significantly. But the fundamental economics and the regulatory of the government has not supported electric motorcycle. Just imagine what will happen if the government say, okay, for electric scooters, there is no tax at all coming into Indonesia. What will happen? Exactly, it's simple. The solution is simple to make it equal, but there are many special interests and so on. Go-Jek really wants to advance to electric vehicle, but this is one of the things that is not in our control. It's not in our control. That will happen, but we cannot control because it all deals with tariff, the government's tariff and tax and so on. That is one. Now, we know that we really want to go there, but we cannot. Secondly, what do you think will happen if everyone that rides Go-Jek, who previously rode cars, take Go-Jek? Well, what will happen to emission in Jakarta? Mathematically, cars, the emissions are far higher. Anyone has motorcycles here? Anyone has motorcycle? Per day, how many liters of fuel do you use? 20,000 rupiah? One week, 20,000 rupiah. Oh, you just use it just once, back and forth, that's it, just one round trip. So conservatively, one day 10,000 rupiah. Anyone has a car? How many times the use of the fuel? 10 times. 10 times, clearly. Minimal 10 times. Now I ask you, on average, per trip with a car, how many people per trip? And for motorcycle, how many people per trip? Same. It's the same. So about 1.5. So I've been saying since a long time ago, if everyone in Jakarta rides electric motorcycle, in one day, instantly, we can eliminate two main problems in Jakarta. Number one, traffic will be gone, will be eliminated directly. Only motorcycle, other vehicles not allowed. It will eliminate traffic congestion and pollution. So bikes is in this solution, but bikes, because the pollution is very high and the speed of the bicycle is very slow, so it's still difficult. Not to mention with the many vehicles. The enemy of a bicycle is not motorcycle. It's the bicycle have accidents because of cars. And motorcycle accident is also caused by cars or buses.
Jadi,
So I apologize. The argument is correct. It's very important. But if you compare with the alternatives, because so many people use Go-Jek, and they now leave their cars at home. Now they fully use Go-Jek. All my friends, those who have cars, they have various types of cars, not just from Honda Jazz to Alphard. They leave them at home. Now they use Go-Jek, and there is a positive impact, in my opinion. Mr. Yusuf Kala said Go-Jek already reduced traffic by 10% in Jakarta. I don't know where he got the figure, but I agree with the direction. His direction is already in the right direction, and indeed it's true. Many people use Go-Jek, and they leave their personal cars at home. So in terms of emission, actually the motorcycle is less, although it seems it is making the road crowded and polluting. But what I hope the government will conduct something that is aggressive in differentiating the tariff for cars and electric vehicles, electric motorcycle in Indonesia, because that is the future.
Oke. Pertanyaan selanjutnya.
Okay, next question. Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum. My name is Alexander Zulkarnain. I am from Binus Business School, but actually I have graduated. Now I teach. My question, based on the business side, when Go-Jek see the product life cycle will decrease, will go down. Second, if I see now, I don't know the data, that's why I ask, is it true that now it's oversupply? So there are too many Go-Jek. Because if we see it's green and so many, and we see on the street people are sitting and waiting for orders. And my final question, will Go-Jek develop its business to Go Pharmacy or Go Ambulance, because there are many for other applications, Go Food and Go Mart. Actually, my friend already developed sigme.com. So anything you want, they have it, including appliances and so on. That's all. Thank you. Can I clarify with what you mean by product cycle, product life cycle? So in the beginning, Go-Jek was issued, the interest was high, many people was interested, many people downloaded, but when there's a time like handphone or a product, the popularity will decrease, the product life cycle will decrease, so people will not be so excited to use that. Not to mention now there's Go-Jek and Grab Bike and Blue-Jek and Blue Go-Jek Sharia and so on. I don't understand. So it's like that. The difference between transportation and delivery or fashion brand or new food, for example, new martabak. In Indonesia, there are many businesses that follow the product life cycle. It goes up and down, but there won't be a situation where people do not need transportation. There is no situation where people will not need food delivery. There won't be a situation where people won't need grocery delivery or to deliver goods. So for service, I think it's a bit different. For service with a fundamental concept, I think the product life cycle will continue to exist as long as it is still competitive against the competitors. Other competitors validate that the market is so large and there can be several players in it. Although now, like you mentioned, the supply, no one beats the supply of Go-Jek because we are the largest number. Anywhere, any corners, there will be a Go-Jek next to you. The question on oversupply, indeed, it's true. At that time, we mass recruited. It was very large, but this is a natural cycle in Go-Jek. It will be rich and then go down, and then the demand will go up and then go down. And then there will be an equalization. So it doesn't mean that the driver will get 10 million rupiah every month. So that means the market is not rational yet. So there must be a rationalization, and the cycle is natural. So now slow down the recruitment, we catch up with the demand, and then we will catch up again. So that is the most difficult to balance that. But in reality, for colleagues at Go-Jek, is it quick to use Go-Jek now? It's very quick. You can get it right away if the system is not down. So we're handling it now. But I use Go-Jek six times a day, so I know our customer experience is very high. Our arrival time is very fast. At that time I was in San Francisco, I used Uber. Record arrival time in the world for app transportation. In Uber, in San Francisco, in 3 minutes, the car will arrive. At the places where I took Go-Jek, now it's already 3 to 5 minutes. The Go-Jek arrives. So our target is to push that to 2 minutes. So we will try to figure that out together. That is the impact of the high supply, of the large supply. For sure, both parties will not be happy at the same time. Consumer and driver fundamentally are two opposite sides. The consumer want as much as possible, but the driver want as little as possible. So that is a balance that we're trying to strike. What was the third question? How many times we offer the service? In terms of the regulation, the owner of the ambulance are not comfortable in doing it. We have offered them, but they're not comfortable because the ambulance service is very lacking in Indonesia. But unfortunately, to bring a patient in emergency in a motorcycle is not recommended by the doctors, even though that is better than dying on the side of the street. But in terms of regulation, it is not tolerated. They must use the four-wheel vehicles. But maybe in the future we will see. Okay, one final question from the back, please. I'm Derta from Jogja. I would like to ask first, Go-Jek now, is there a benefit? Because when I install and I get 50,000, and then when I use, I do not pay anymore. When I use the referral system, I think people can use Go-Jek freely. So by just making new email, so how do you address that? Indonesia is best in cheating a company. When we have to do something right, then we're not good. But when finding loopholes, we're good at it. But there are many things like that. But we monitor that, and many customers whom we ban, and many drivers whom we ban. But with the 15,000 price point, the incentive to cheat is not that high. Please, if you want to open an email account 10, 20 every week, I salute. It's no problem. Just to save 15,000. But in reality, that happens. So the referral program will be eliminated. So that opportunity will not be there. Does Go-Jek profit? Yes, we profit. If we don't, then the investors won't be happy. So that is something in the future. We invest for the future. Now we're developing the market, so we can get such resource and large funding. That is because of our rate of growth, which is quite phenomenal. Go-Jek, I just traveled in Silicon Valley. The officials there saw the figure of Go-Jek and they were surprised, they were shocked, because even in America it's not that fast. No one company has that fast of a growth. For those of you who want to open the app, and please think in terms of the venture capitalist view. For them, the most important, there is a means to make money, but in the future. But for now, what is most important is the user base growth and transaction growth. That is the most important. From Jogja, right? The one who developed the app? Yes, because Jogja, we have a development center in Jogja. No, they don't want to go to Jakarta, so we developed the office there. Out of 30 people, Jogja, I think it's very special. as a like a breeding ground for developer. Their sense of creativity and the IQ of the people there are very good. I'm very impressed.